In any event, it's our job to secure the border, whether or not we end up passing a so-called comprehensive immigration reform bill.
Government has a threshold responsibility to secure our borders. And that's why I directed my Secretary of Homeland Security, Janet Napolitano, a former border governor, to improve our enforcement policy without having to wait for a new law.
I think the American people are getting it. Let's see at least a really strong effort to secure the border.
Today, we have more boots on the ground near the southwest border than at any time in our history.
Let's see at least a really strong effort to secure the border.
Let me repeat that. We have more boots on the ground on the southwest border than at any time in our history. We doubled the personnel assigned to border enforcement security task forces. We tripled the number of intelligence analysts along the border. For the first time, we've begun screening 100% of southbound rail shipments.
I'm not suggesting that this administration isn't doing a lot on the border. We have a lot of Border Patrol folks there, and there are other efforts underway. But it's not enough to say, gee, we have a lot of people down there.
That doesn't mean we don't have more work to do. We have to do that work. But it's important that we acknowledge the facts.
The question is, but are you succeeding? It's like the war in Iraq or the war in Afghanistan.
Contrary to some of the reports that you see, crime along the border is down. And statistics collected by Customs and Border Protection reflect a significant reduction in the number of people trying to cross the border illegally.
There are other things that we can do to try harder and be more successful.
So the bottom line is this: the southern border is more secure today than at any time in the past 20 years.
And maybe there are some different strategies that need to be employed. I have suggested one in particular.
There are those who argue that we should not move forward with any other elements of reform until we have fully sealed our borders.
It's our job to secure the border, whether or not we end up passing a so-called comprehensive immigration reform bill.
But our borders are just too vast for us to be able to solve the problem only with fences and border patrols. It won't work. Our borders will not be secure as long as our limited resources are devoted to not only stopping gangs and potential terrorists, but also the hundreds of thousands who attempt to cross each year simply to find work.